Greetings, everyone. This is Live Life Well TV host Robert Landau, and this is a special episode of our popular weekly trivia show called Did You Know? It's actually special for not one, but two reasons. The first reason is this episode is a tribute to great cities of the world. The second reason why this happens to be a special episode of Did You Know is because this is our 50th episode of this weekly program, which stands to say that there are 49 previous episodes of Did You Know that if you haven't seen yet, well, excuse me, what have you been doing with your time? Do take a look back and see previous episodes of this show, but don't go anywhere because this special 50th episode of Did You Know, in a trivia tribute to great cities of the world, begins in just one moment. All right. Let's begin. Now, we're going to do something a little different with this episode. I'm going to ask you multiple choice questions. And of course, as always, give you the answer to see how well you did. So again, this is a special tribute to great cities of the world. With that in mind, let's begin. If you were in Stanley Park, which great city of the world would you be in? Again, the question was, if you were in Stanley Park, which great city of the world would you be in? The choices are, would you be in Vancouver? Would you be in Edinburgh? Or would you be in Moscow? If you were in Stanley Park, which city would you be in? The answer to that question happens to be Vancouver. And what a fabulous city that is. Have you ever been? I was once, and I have never forgotten my visit since, and it was many years ago. Next great city of the world trivia question for you goes like this. If you were standing by the Western Wall, which city would you be in? Cairo, Berlin, or Jerusalem? If you were standing by the Western Wall, which city would you be in? Cairo, Berlin, or Jerusalem? Well, I think you might know the answer to that one. Of course, it is the great city, historical city of Jerusalem. Next up is this. If you were going for a run in Hyde Park and saw someone talking at something called Speaker's Corner, you would be in which of the following cities? Glasgow, London, or New York City? Again, the great city of the world trivia question was, if you were going for a run in Hyde Park and saw someone talking at Speaker's Corner, you would be in which of the following cities? Glasgow, London, or New York City? You probably, I would suspect, might know the answer to that one too. It happens to be the great city of London. Speaker's Corner is a special area of Hyde Park in the city of London where you and I can just get up on a box, like a soapbox, and say what we like. Speak our minds type thing. It's a great sharing of information. It's a great sharing of the minds. It's a great citizen freedom type opportunity too. Next up is this. The port of Yaffo is in which city? And Yaffo is spelled Y-A-F-F-O. The port of Yaffo is in which of the following cities? Melbourne, Australia, Athens, Greece, or Tel Aviv, Israel? What city do you think the port of Yaffo happens to be in? If you kind of figured it might be in Tel Aviv, you are 100% correct. Next question. The TV show Friends is set in Boston, New York City, or Tampa. The TV show Friends, great TV show, great TV show. One of the best sitcoms, at least of the current number of years. And what city was Friends set in? Boston, New York City, or Tampa? If you're thinking it might be New York City, you are 100% correct. Next up is this. Where would you find the largest Ferris wheel in the world? Would you find it in Orlando, London, or Las Vegas? The question was, where would you find the largest Ferris wheel in the world? Would you find it in Orlando, London, or Las Vegas? Well, believe it or not, the largest Ferris wheel in the world happens to find its home in London. Next up is this. Which city would you walk down the Champs-Élysées? I would suspect you know the answer to this one. Would you find the Champs-Élysées in Paris, or Rome, or Marseille? In which city would you find the Champs-Élysées? Paris, Rome, or Marseille? Of course, it happens to be in Paris. That even rhymes. Next up is this. Where is the Vatican? Venice, Rome, or Florence? Where is the Vatican? Venice, Rome, or Florence? Obviously, of course, no doubt, it's in Rome. The Niagara Falls are in Mexico and Brazil, Canada and America, or Australia and New Zealand. The Niagara Falls can be found in Mexico and Brazil, Canada and America, or Australia and New Zealand. Of course, Niagara Falls can be found kind of on the border of Canada and America. Have you ever been to Niagara Falls? I have not. I flew over it on my way to Toronto from, I think it was New York City. And wow, even from that altitude, it looked spectacular, just spectacular. Next up is this. If you were a Kiwi, you would be from, and I ain't talking about the fruit. If you were a Kiwi, you would be from Australia, New Zealand, or Singapore. Of course, the answer to that happens to be New Zealand. What an incredible country. Many of you know that I was a cruise director for many years, and I had the great opportunity to visit and call at a number of New Zealand ports of call. As a matter of fact, during a dry dock of one cruise ship that I cruise directed on in Fiji, some of the crew and myself, took a plane from Fiji to Auckland, New Zealand, and spent 2 weeks visiting the North and South Island of New Zealand. The people are amazing. If they see and find out that you're from out of country, they will invite you into their homes for tea. It is one of the few places that you can ski and swim on a beach the very same day. Incredible place. Never forget my time there. By the way, these questions that we have for you today, they come from two sources. The ones that I just shared with you come from absurdtrivia.com. So thank you, absurdtrivia.com. And this last bunch, before we close, come from briangle.com. So thanks to those two websites, because these are great, great questions. And with that in mind, here's the next one. This city is located in the land of Lincoln and is known by many names such as the Second City, City of Broad Shoulders, and, this will give it away, the Windy City. Are we talking about Seattle, Washington, New York City, New York, or Chicago, Illinois? And I think the Windy City kind of gave that one away. Of course, we're talking about Chicago, Illinois. But the Windy City isn't that city's only nickname. Chicago can also be referred to as the second city and city of broad shoulders as well. Next up is this for you. This city is the world's only city to be located in two continents, Asia and Europe, and is one of the world's largest cities by population. Again, this city is the world's only city to be located in two continents, Asia and Europe, and also happens to be one of the world's largest cities by population. Are we talking about Istanbul, Turkey, Moscow, Russia, or Berlin, Germany? Of course, that is Istanbul, Turkey. I, on the ships, visited Istanbul. Is it the Bosphorus? I think we sailed up the Bosphorus to pull alongside the pier in Istanbul. Not only is Istanbul amazing, but so is Turkey. Did you know that Turkey has many more ruins that you can visit than Greece does? An amazing country, actually both Turkey and Greece. What an amazing world we live in. Next up is this. This next city is the second largest city in one of Africa's largest economies, is shadowed by Table Mountain, and is surrounded by near vertical cliffs. Are we talking about Cairo, Egypt, Cape Town, South Africa, or Dubai, United Arab Emirates? Let me read the question for you again. The city is the second largest city in one of Africa's largest economies, is shadowed by Table Mountain, and is surrounded by near vertical cliffs. Is the city in question Cairo, Egypt, Cape Town, South Africa, or Dubai, UAE? And the answer to that question is the incredible city of Cape Town, South Africa. Next up, this city happens to be the capital of Europe's sixth largest country and is home to Plaza de Toros, the world center of bullfighting. Is the city in question Madrid, Spain, Barcelona, Spain, or Mexico City, Mexico? When the question was, this city is the capital of Europe's sixth largest country and is home to Plaza de Toros, the world center of bullfighting. Madrid, Spain, Barcelona, Spain, or Mexico City, Mexico? The answer happens to be Madrid, Spain. No bull. Next up, this city is located just south of the Arctic Circle and is the world's northernmost national capital city. Could this be St. Petersburg, Russia, Moscow, Russia, or Reykjavik, Iceland? Again, the question was, this city is located just south of the Arctic Circle and is the world's northernmost national capital city. St. Petersburg, Russia, Moscow, Russia, or Reykjavik, Iceland? The answer? What? You tell me. The answer is Reykjavik, Iceland. I was trying to think if I stayed in Reykjavik, but no. Many years ago, I did a little bit of college in Luxembourg in Europe. And in those days, as I think still to this day, you can fly from a couple of US cities to Luxembourg, but if you take Icelandic or Icelandair, you have to stop in Reykjavik. And I remember when I went to college that year, was a freshman. I was a freshman. We landed in Reykjavik after taking off from JFK. And oh my God, it was like in the middle of a snowstorm. In those days, that airport didn't have sheltered boarding nodules. From the gate to the plane or from the plane to the gate. So you actually deplaned. You had to get off the plane in Reykjavik so they could clean it and refuel it because it goes on to Luxembourg. But we were walking across the runway after going down a stairs out in the open with snow, and I could swear we were walking on like a foot sheet of ice to get to the terminal. But once you got to the terminal, it was nice and warm, hot chocolate, great shopping, Icelandic sweaters, a lot of passengers bought. I think it was only from the walk from the terminal back to the plane, but that was a very memorable trip. Great country. I'd like to actually visit and stay in Iceland sometime soon. Two more questions before we close. Here's the second to last. This city is the fifth most populous city in North America, is home to the tallest freestanding structure in the Western Hemisphere, and is nicknamed the Big Smoke. Could it be Houston, Texas? Could it be Toronto, Canada? Or could it be Vancouver, Canada? This city is the fifth most populous city in North America, is home to the tallest freestanding structure in the Western Hemisphere, and is nicknamed the Big Smoke. That happens to be Toronto, Canada. Last and final question before we close goes like this. This city is the capital city of the ninth most populous country in the world and has the largest number of billionaires in the world. Could the city in question possibly be Moscow, Russia, New York City, New York, and Beijing, China? Again, the question was and is, this city is the capital city of the ninth most populous country in the world and has the largest number of billionaires in the world. That happens to be Moscow, Russia. That brings us to a close of this special 50th episode of Did You Know? And I hope you had a great time. I hope you learned a couple of things just like me. And even more important, I hope you had a lot of fun during the process. This was the 50th episode of Did You Know? If you haven't seen the previous 49, what in the world are you waiting for? And we look forward to seeing you again next week when we'll have episode 51 of Did You Know? Until then, thanks so much for tuning in. This has been Robert Landau, Live Life Well TV host, wishing you health, happiness, and be safe.